What's going on, CALIVEGANs, and welcome into another episode of the CALIVEGAN podcast, the one and only podcast that helps vegan men build muscle and become better role model through calisthenics so you can work out at home. The other very cool thing about this podcast is that it's based on Q&A. Okay, so for the ones that are watching this in replay on YouTube, you can come to my Instagram, Stefano Vegan Calisthenics, every Monday, 12 p.m. Central European time, and ask questions and lead this podcast. And for the ones that are joining right now, if you like my content, if you are getting value from me, you can pay me back by asking questions. So as you're joining in, even if you're leaving and I'm not going to see you again for the next forever perhaps, and you find value in one of my posts, please drop questions as you're joining in. There's 3 of you right now. It's 3 of you right now, 5 now. Just please drop some questions. 7 of you, please drop some questions as you're joining so we get the party started. And, we're not going to be sad because there is no question and no podcast going on this week. So today's pool, Hysteria 2012 says, finds value in all my posts. So please help me with today's content and drop some questions. Is your way to pay me back. You can ask questions about anything, calisthenics, veganism, my personal life. I'm an open book. So today we're training pool. All right. It's been a few weeks I wasn't training at home, so I kind of have to go back to the feeling of training at home, let's say. And I actually didn't do a warm-up set yet. Usually when I start the podcast, I already did a warm-up set, but we're going to do it now. No problem. Something that I have relearned about calisthenics lately is that, small changes in your environment can make an exercise harder or easier. Let's say you usually work at a particular workout park and the bars are this thick, and if you watched it let's say the bar usually are this thick, and then you change your environment and the bars are this thick. This is going to change the difficulty of your exercises. So keep that present, because sometimes you might get frustrated because things are going a lot different than they used to be in your workout, and if you change the environment in which you're training, it's probably because of that. So I'm going to do my warm-up set, but please guys, as you're joining, really drop some questions so we get the party started. Before answering the question, I'm going to give you a little bit more time and talk about my journey with addiction and sobriety, because that's fun. Warm-up set. We're going up and up. Okay, feels good. So, important thing that I can add just came up into my mind, that if you are doing warm-up sets, make sure that you rest before starting the workout, because otherwise this is another way in which you can feel frustrated. Is, but why Why I cannot do what I'm supposed to do? Well, it's because you're just fatigue your muscle. Even though a warm-up set is easier than your normal sets, it's still fatigue that you are building up in your muscle. So make sure that you rest before actually getting to your main workout. For the one joining in, guys, drop the freaking questions. I don't see activity, We're going to end up closing up this podcast today. There's not enough movement going on. It's probably my fault because I just show up on these lives and I don't give much, advice to you guys. I'm like, I should. This is my fault. It's true. Like there's no one in my lives because I never say when I'm live, and Instagram is obviously not very good at sending the notifications, but I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to say that it is my fault because I don't send out enough notifications and informations about the fact that I go live every Monday at 12 p.m. Central European. If you're listening to this right now, make sure that you add it to your calendar so you get your own notification. And actually, I want to add another thing that actually I wanted to make a post about, since I'm talking about my own responsibility, and I'm going to be quick. So I had a client, they asked me for a refund after joining the program in a monthly subscription, then it completely disappeared 2 weeks after, and I obviously notify him, hey man, what's going on? Hey man, what's going on? Are we starting? Why you haven't filled the form and all that stuff? And so 2 weeks after, said, yeah man, I'm ready. And so I go to the app and I see if he filled the forms and he still didn't do anything. So I was like, okay, if you're ready to start, then time to take action. Okay, follow the steps in order to give me the right information and create your training plan and your nutrition plan. Again, it disappears for 2 more weeks. The day of the payment comes, I take the payment because he made a monthly subscription and I have a 4 months initial commitment, and he asked me for a refund. I was like, man, what are you talking about? All right, so you have, and he also threatened me. He was going to ask his bank to get the money back. Obviously, he didn't get the money back. I don't know if he did it or not, but obviously he didn't. The bank didn't give him the right because he signed to a subscription. Like when he signed up and put its details, he signed for a subscription. So long story short, guys, what I want to say is stop being a victim in your life, okay? When these things happen, don't be a victim. Because if you're a victim and you don't own your life and your responsibility, then other people have to suffer because of you and are affected. In this case, perhaps my business, right? Imagine I was going to make him a refund. So I need to pay back, because if I do a refund, I'm still going to pay taxes on it. So I need to, lose money, and your lack of risk, ownership in life, it's affecting my life, right? So please step up your mindset, okay? Because I really didn't like that interaction with this person, because also kind of trying to manipulate me. He said, oh, give me a refund. I'm going to be a client in the future. And there was obviously manipulation. I didn't believe that at all. And so, I'm just sharing this story. Some of you might hate me, and don't respect me for my decision. I'm sure that many of you will instead understand this. The right people will understand this. And if you don't understand it, you might change your mind, okay? In the sense that, you gotta own your decision, own your life, and don't throw shit on other people because you made the wrong decision. All right, so I haven't spoken about my addiction yet. We are going to do it after the first set. Please drop some questions. Drop the questions. Let's get the party started after I ramble about my addiction. Okay, so addiction, and because that's the negative word, addiction and journey towards sobriety. But drop some questions so we have something to talk about after. If I can do 4 and they feel easy, I'm going to try and reduce the assistance. All right. They don't feel easy, but I did have 1 rep in reserve. So I'm going to try to reduce the assistance and do 3 reps instead. If that goes well, I'm going to stay at that intensity next week. All right, we did it, fuck it. So we have up, green band, 4 reps. So this plus this, I think it's kind of the same. I'm going to try and go for the 25 kilogram band. So talking about my addiction, I really want to stay sober, okay? It's important because, guys, you need to, there is different levels of addiction, okay? I feel like people, when I talk about my addiction, they only imagine someone that has been using drugs every single day for a long period of time. I have never done that. That's not necessarily addiction. That's one level of addiction. That's like the end of the spectrum of addiction. These people that are on the street and they're completely lost in drug use, right? That's just the end of the spectrum. Is not the only definition of addiction. It can be many things, I cannot explain everything. I have read a lot about addiction, but it's something difficult to completely explain. However, to simplify what's going on as of right now, first of all, one of the reasons why I want to stay completely sober is because I have ADHD. And even though people who have ADHD are more likely to be addicted, at the same time, altering your brain with substances make your ADHD worse. Okay, and I was listening to this psychiatrist multiple times, and I heard it multiple times. So this is important for me because I'm not just the average person, let's say. Okay, nothing wrong with the average person out there. We love you. But I do activism. I don't only do activism. I'm an organizer. I'm preparing a speech, and I have a business, and so I have these commitments that are above average, okay, and require often mental effort. Like in my chapter, a group of activists in Malaga, we are making an update. I am making sure that they go through a test before being able to do activism on the street, and they are throwing shit on me like crazy. Because some of them, well, they're not willing to do that, so I need to kick them out, and there's no good. There's a division inside of the group right now, but it's a good one, right? That's a good division because the people that are on board, they are these committed activists that want to be as professional as possible, which is what we want inside of our group. So that's great. However, it's not easy to handle so much shit and negative comments. All right, how do you think this is going to go? I actually feel I should try 2 reps, if I have to be completely honest, because this is not very helpful. And let's see what happens. No, it's too hard. I mean, these were 2 full reps, but it was too close to failure. So I'm going to try and add this, see how it feels. Yeah, no. Way too hard for a good training stimulus. Way too hard. So yeah, they're throwing a lot of shit on me. My anxiety level are higher. By the way, this weekend has been the first weekend I say no to alcohol completely. But, and this is what I've learned through therapy, addiction and wanting to use substances gets in your brain. So your brain has learned to develop these processes in which is looking for let's call it happiness through substance use. And so the road towards sobriety is substitute these substances with the better habits, right? Healthy habits. And basically being addicted to something that is not negatively impacting your life. And yes, so what I've noticed, and I've noticed as well when I've done long periods of sobriety, is that I get to a point where my brain really feels too much pressure and the anxiety doesn't go away and perhaps even increase. So I'm going to do it. I want to do it seriously, but I'm going to use the help of microdosing LSD. I did took a microdose 1 hour ago, so I'm high as of right now as I'm speaking. And well, it's not a real high, but I can feel anxiety dropped, my mood is better. So I'm going to try that, but say no to alcohol, say no to whatever else. And yeah, that's where we at. Yes. 3 people live. If you like me, drop some questions. Alpha Detroit said, what's good, man? We're doing well. I imagine I already said what's good. My wrists don't want to work with me. How can I support them? That's a bit of a not clear question. If you mean that your wrists are in pain, right, while you do exercise, so there is different things that you can do. So first thing is strengthening your wrists. There is something that's called power ball. It basically creates momentum. There's a little ball inside that rotates, and you basically go with it, and it helps you strengthen all the forearm muscle and make your wrists stronger. You can also do wrist push-ups on your knees on the floor, and you just push with your wrists. You can do it on the other way around as well. Okay, and then you can also do lateral. You do it with a band, with a dumbbell. Okay, there's something you can also do it with a band the other way around, right? So I can do this. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do. The second thing that you can do is protecting your wrists all the time. At the end of the day, wrists are a very delicate joint, especially for people that perhaps haven't been doing gymnastics since they were kids. All right, so we need to add the band. I'm going to try it with this one. It's a little bit more help and maybe to do better. Let's try. It's part of calisthenics. Sometimes you just need to try things and understand what is the right point, right exercise, right assistance in order to train properly. Yeah, that's definitely less assistance, I think. Let's see how 3 feels. They feel very similar to the green band. I don't think there is much difference. Maybe it's the same. I think it's the same. I'm going to try and see what happens with this one. So wrists. So if you haven't been doing gymnastics since you were a kid and you've been doing a lot of handstand and your wrists are solid like a rock, wrists are a very fragile joint. So use wrist straps is another thing that you can do to allow your wrists not to be overloaded and perhaps get injuries, develop pain. Another thing that you can do, which is one of the main things I'm doing right now, because actually right now I do have some wrist pain. So if I do this, okay, so it has improved, okay? Not really, actually. Well, I think it has improved. But the thing is, I apparently have some broken bones in the wrists. I don't know where they came from, probably kickboxing. And so it takes a very long time to heal these small fractures. And so yeah, what I'm doing is, as you can see in my videos posts, I didn't stop training, right? The only thing I do is that I do not put my wrist in this position in which I have pressure and it causes me pain. Okay, so what I do is doing all of my training with my wrist in this position, okay? So it's straight, okay? And I'm not creating that extra joint flexion that causes me pain, okay? And so basically instead of doing push-ups on the floor, I do it on parallels. So I'm holding and my wrist is straight and I'm not creating that extra pressure that gives me pain, okay? And you know, this is something that you might be mistaking, even though you are using parallel bars, for example, or parallels for push-ups. You know, perhaps you're here, instead of being like this, you're like this. Okay, I see many of my clients in the beginning, they have their wrist like this, and so you're still creating that pressure, okay? So you need to have your wrists aligned. Okay, so the top of your hand needs to be aligned with the forearms. We have a...
Hello, fans.
Where have you been?
I've been
buying buying bananas. All right, so 1 minute of extra rest. Vinay Sharma is asking, what are your thoughts on marijuana? Is it as bad as alcohol? Fuck, I need to change the assistance. Well, let's see how this goes, okay? So if I'm going to be doing 3, I'm going to be happy and keep this intensity. But even if I can do and they feel good, I think still a good sign, because obviously I've already done few sets now, so few sets I'm tired. Yeah, this is the 4th set, so it's normal that I might be a little tired, but if I can do 2 or I think I can. I'll go for 3. If I can do 3, then we move to this one. If not, back to the green band. Boy, I don't think so. Let me just do another one with my other hand. Okay. Okay, no. So, super light band, you did 1. So before talking about weed, what can you do, you know, when, you know, you are approaching an exercise, but you're doing you're doing it at a volume that, it's not allowing you to really control the exercise and do enough volume to make the workout make sense and be effective, like in this case. Or maybe you're just working at very high intensity and doing only 1 or 2 reps, okay? You want to make sure that you are doing enough of volume. So how do you do it? You just do a few extra sets. One is enough eventually, or 2. I'm going to do 1 today, in which you really drop the difficulty, okay? And you're able to work at higher rep range, okay? So moving towards that hypertrophy range, because if you still hit the strength range, it doesn't make sense anymore, because you cannot work at high intensity while being fatigued, okay? So what I do, I go for the 45 assistance and just smash 7 to 8 reps, making sure that I am doing a good amount of volume. Volume is especially important when you're doing not high frequency, like you're not doing you're not hitting the muscle 3 times per week, right? If I'm doing 2 pull workouts per week, right? And so I need to make sure that there is enough volume. So going to my opinion on what are thoughts on marijuana, is it as bad as alcohol? So I'm not a doctor, I'm not qualified to give medical advice on this. But I think the science says that alcohol is the worst thing that you can really take. Is the only drug that really burns all the walls of your cells and body and organs and burns everything, okay? On the other hand, weed will attach to your brain receptors, right? And give you an altered view of reality, which it's also bad, especially if you do it consistently. But when it comes to like whole body health effect, of course, like alcohol is so much worse, but smoking weed, especially if you do it every single day, definitely plays with your head and it's definitely not healthy. And obviously if you're smoking, it's affecting your lungs. So it's a bit of a weird question, because the real question should be, not the real question, but the real action should be trying to be sober, not. I know that before I just said that I'm taking LSD microdose, so it's kind of, if weed helps you into making a healthier choice compared to alcohol, I think it's better than alcohol for sure. Woohoo! We're going for 4 minutes rest to 3 minutes rest. Back of sets. Red band. 7. And you see me always, writing 7, even though I've done it only with my left. It's because I know that my right is going to match it because it's stronger. That's another good tip. Unilateral exercises always need to be started with your stronger side. Whew. You're amazing. Ciao, Juicy. ¿También hablas español, cierto? Sí, claro, hablo español. Vivo en España. Mi novia es española. Hago activismo en español. PSN Psncha is asking, how do I start as a beginner? And very straightforward answer. Focus on basics, right? Basic exercise. You want to become very strong on pull-ups, push-ups, dips, pike push-ups, moving towards handstand push-ups. So these should be your first goals, in my opinion, with calisthenics, because it doesn't really make sense to work on more advanced skills. You're kind of wasting energies, because anyway, as you build up basic strength, then the progression in your advanced skills when you're ready to go there is going to be much faster. So just think of the basics, right? Variations of push-ups, knee push-ups, regular push-ups, weighted push-ups, dips, negative dips, regular dips, dips assisted with a band, regular dips, no, I said that already, weighted dips, pike push-ups, Indo push-ups, elevated pike push-ups, weighted elevated pike push-ups, and then you go into negative handstand push-ups and half range handstand push-ups on the wall, of course. And then for the pull, you want to do Australian pull-ups. You can do pull-ups assisted with a band, pull-ups assisted with your feet, negative pull-ups, Australian pull-ups. You can do them also with one arm to make them more difficult, or you can add weight to the one arm pull-ups. All right. So I actually done an extra repetition compared to last week. Let's see if I can maintain that improvement throughout the other sets. Hey Stefano, you look pumped. Thank you. Are you guys dropping questions? I don't see enough questions here. I mean, now it's only the 4 of you watching live. So for the 4 of you watching live, if you want this to continue, you can drop some questions, or otherwise we're going to end it here. 2 minutes rest, the marketing part. If you are a vegan man who is struggling to build muscle, you don't like weight training, you would prefer to do it at home with calisthenics using your own body weight, which actually transfer much better to your favorite activities, whichever it is. Maybe it's a sport like basketball or climbing indoor, bouldering. Calisthenics is much better, all right? And perhaps you think that you're not building muscle because of your diet. I can assure you that is not your diet. It's because you don't have a proper training plan. You don't understand how to get stronger over time, which, by the way, with calisthenics and bodyweight training is more difficult than regular weight training. With my CALIVEGAN program, I've helped already almost 300 vegan men build muscle with calisthenics and become better role model, feeling more confident on their choice of wanting to, of their choice in the fact that being vegan doesn't mean that you cannot be strong, right? And I will help you with a personalized calisthenics workout plan, selecting the best exercises for your strength level and create a progression in strength that's going to allow you to build muscle. A plant-based nutrition plan that focuses on fruits, especially, then vegetables, and hitting a caloric target that's going to allow you to develop a lean physique with visible abs. We also implemented the cheat day to make sure that there is some flexibility and you can decompress from a disciplined and more structured approach to nutrition. And then the most important part, which is the coaching, that's going to allow you to get faster results, because every time you feel stuck, you have questions, you have access to me all the time through chat. And we'll be doing weekly check-ins, making sure that you're losing fat, you're building muscle, you're making progress within your workout. So if you're a vegan man who wants help to build muscle with calisthenics and become a better role model for veganism, just drop me a DM saying CALIVEGAN and we'll have a further conversation about your fitness goals. Next set, let's go. Hello meal, how are you? Oh yeah, I'm definitely feeling stronger in this exercise as well. That's good news. Right, so yeah, a few questions, I think. Drop some questions as you're joining in. Don't be a bad person who just ignores me, gets value from me, and then does not collaborate in the creation of the content. Right, just drop some questions. Jason Du is asking, what do you consume before a workout? So I don't think you necessarily need to consume anything in particular, right? It's better you just do whatever feels better for you. A lot of people feels better working out on a fasted state. There was a friend of mine in London who was a heavyweight calisthenics guy. He even won a London calisthenics competition of street lifting with a 30 kilogram strict muscle up. Absolutely great, crazy. He can straddle planche for, I don't know, it's a long time I don't look at him, but it's called Juan Forja. He's Argentinian, and yeah, he can hold this straddle planche, and it was close to do a full planche, and he weighs more than 90 kilograms. Absolutely crazy. And so yeah, he liked to work out fasted, but sometimes he even worked out at 3 p.m. you know, after having skipped breakfast and having no snack in the morning. And he said that he preferred to work out fasted. It doesn't work for me. I like to have breakfast, and I don't really have anything before workout. Sometimes I might have some fruit because I'm hungry, but I don't think that's important. It's more important how you're eating overall throughout the week, and that you are fueling your body properly. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's not like in a workout you do not spend that much energy like you would in a 1 hour run, but definitely it is important that you're fueling your body properly throughout the week, so you are energized, your glycogen stored are filled, because for example if you're on a caloric deficit, that you probably have less glycogen stores. But the overall diet is more important than what I'm going to eat before or after. It's better you just try different things perhaps and see what works best for you. If I had to say something that might be beneficial, is have some easy to digest, you know, energies. So actually have a few pieces of fruit before the workout, you know, might be beneficial. while I'm doing this exercise, after the 5th rep, I kind of feel like I'm finished because it feels so hard, and then I remember that, no, I need to add the easier variation to create the hybrid set. Right, do you guys have any so many questions? Aji Delgado, so he's asking me again, how many hours after workout do I have to eat? Again, do not stress out about these things. They don't matter at all. I will have a banana after I work out. Sometimes I eat while I'm working out because I'm hungry. So really focus on your overall diet, and you don't need to focus on these things before, after workout, fasted, workout in the morning, workout in the evening. It doesn't matter. Do what works best for you, and also understand that those are really details. And even at top level, because someone can say, oh, but these details perhaps are optimization. Well, not really, because then when we go at the top level athlete, whether it's strength, martial arts, or endurance, we will see people doing different things completely. So obviously, it's better to try things and see what feels better for you. I hate, Stefan 16 says, I hate this brainwash on soy. What do you mean? Can you be more detailed in the way you are structuring the question? Thank you. Yeah, 60 cycles of sound is asking the same thing, like what do you mean? Oh. Okay, Stephanie is not correcting, but being more details. Soy is good, but many people tell is bad because it has phytoestrogens who doesn't work like estrogen. Exactly, you know. And something absurd about soy, I think, is that I'm not sure, but in Europe and in Italy especially, but I think in Europe overall, people look at Asian people and Asian cultures and population as the healthiest out there, right? Please confirm as you're listening to this, like 10, 15 years ago, let's say, wasn't it clear around the common sense of people that Asians people were the healthiest population, right? Let's go. Oh yeah, I have definitely got stronger here. And so like, why do we now fear soy when until fucking 10 years ago we were recognizing as the healthiest population, a population that was eating soy daily, you know, like tofu is ingrained in many or all Asian culture, right? Eating tofu every day wouldn't be anything weird for them. And their main source of food is soy, yeah. All right, guys, if you want this to continue, drop some questions. I still have 1 exercise and 4 sets to go, so we still have time, or otherwise we just cut it short, but I have fun answering your questions. So drop questions. Drop the freaking questions. So last week, instead of doing a regular natural grip pull-up, I know I did the natural grip pull-up, but I did them with 10 extra kilograms. So I would like to maintain the weighted thing. I was able to do pull-ups with 10 kilograms. I think I did 3 or 4 sets with 10 kilograms with 8 reps, which is good, but I prefer to decrease the intensity a little bit and try to do at least 10 reps. So instead of doing 10 kilograms, I'm going to be doing what's this? I think it's going to be 6 kilograms. Yeah, it's just a little extra, but you know, for the not weighted one, I was already able to do some kind of, you know, a good number. I was already doing between 13 and 14, and I felt like I was actually perhaps able of doing kind of more. So I was entering the strength and endurance realm, and I prefer to stay below 15 reps. Feels better to train below 15 reps. I feel like more useful effort. Even though you can make progress also at higher rep range. It's all about the way you organize your workout. Okay, so we're going for 10 with 6 kilograms. Pretty good. So with this 6 kg neutral grip pull-up, 10. So 4 sets is the goal. Did you guys drop some question? It's your fault if I'm going to cut the live now because there is no questions. So Jason I've been getting brain fog since vegan. What do you suggest I do? Is just because of diet? I love that you have been so honest about this question. It's difficult often for vegan to open up about health problems because we get attacked. Oh, it's because you're vegan. And I also love the fact that you didn't give up on a plant-based diet and wanting to hold on to your value of wanting to be vegan so you don't exploit animals, right? I'm guessing, but that's probably the thought process that's going on here, right? So, I would like to correct a suggestion from T. Leroyd, get some omega-3. No, okay. It's not going to be a solution. There's enough omega-3s on a vegan diet. Just have nuts and seeds. I don't suggest you supplement. I went through a period of low energy levels and brain fog about 5 years ago, I think. And the reason why, it was just because I was over-focusing on vegetables and fruits without looking at my calories. So I was eating on a very big caloric deficit, let's call it plus 1,000 calories. And I was a very active person that needed perhaps 4,000 calories per day. Actually, I needed 4,000 because I calculated it. And I was eating sometimes 2,500. And doing that consistently can have symptoms including brain fog, tiredness, difficulty to sleep, low energy levels, headache, all right? And by just eating more calories, I only needed 3 days, literally, making sure that I was eating, not even 3 days, after my first day eating enough calories, I was already feeling better. But in general, like I needed 3 days of consistently making sure that I hit my calories, to feel better, 100%. Oh yes. Okay, and recalling the suggestion that has been done to get omega-3s, I was also worried that I was missing some nutrients, but that's because there is a lot of marketing done around the nutrient deficiencies that makes us think that is the first thing that's wrong, right? And I think it's really the last thing. Okay, not saying you cannot be deficient in nutrients. You obviously can, but don't do like me. I was worried and I actually started to take more B12, more vitamin D. I didn't do the omega as a supplement, but yeah, I was trying, literally like believing the non-vegan propaganda that a plant-based diet is malnourished, until I did a blood test and there was nothing wrong with my nutrients in the body. And then I read this book about nutrition that made me clarify and open my eyes about the importance of caloric intake. The book is called Plant-Based Sport Nutrition, and everything was better after I started eating more calories. Now, this is my experience, but there are other things that people don't realize they're doing, and it's affecting their energies in a major way. Are you sleeping? Do you wake up multiple times during the evening? Do you sleep mostly only 5 hours per day? Right? If you do that, then that's number one probably affecting your energy levels and giving you brain fog. Like sleep is super important, whether you're training or you're not training. I mean, if you're not training, you probably can get away with less sleep, for sure. But if you're an active person, you need to sleep, you need rest. And the other thing, our friend water friend, you need to drink water. Your body is made of water, at least 2 liters of water per day, bringing it up probably to 3 liters. You should check your urine, over time a little bit. If it's too white, you're probably drinking too much water. It feels like yellow, transparent, something like that. You should be good to go. And obviously, like what I'm saying are just some things there are other things that can affect. Maybe you're over sedentary. Like if you don't use your body, that's going to affect your overall energy levels. Your body is not functioning as it should be. You're not being a human. You're being a wardrobe sitting on a chair. All right. So there could be also a reason, right? So I don't know your specific reason why, but I hope these can help you and the one listening to address these things before you think, or some kind of nutrients. For the nutrients, if you think you're deficient in any nutrient, do a blood test. Okay, do not listen to anyone before you do a blood test. In my opinion, a nutritionist that suggests supplements without a blood test is not doing a good job. Unless it's obvious, like taking vitamin D if you live in a dark country. Woohoo! But even if you're in a dark country, maybe you work outside in the cold and you actually are getting enough sunlight, you know. That's a stupid example, but blood test is what you should be doing once per year. So, advice from Tyler, take some vegan omega-3? No, bad advice. And also this comment from 6 Cycle of Sound saying, I never heard of people talking about brain fog when they go vegan. You know, it's not true. There's many people that don't feel good going on a plant-based diet. It can be for COVID or other illnesses as well. That's true. Like we shouldn't pointing at the plant-based diet is not, it's never actually the reason itself. The real reason is that these people who are failing to feel good on a plant-based diet didn't do enough work, which is not a lot of work. Like you can literally ask me, say, hey Steph, how do I have even better, you just download my free guide from the link in bio. You will know most of the things that you need to know in order to be successful. Being also an active person on a plant-based diet, feeling energetic, feeling good, and building muscle and all the good stuff. Tyler is asking, are you in Spain at the moment? Yes, I am. Thank you for the insight. You're welcome. Got some fire going on. Sam Taps, how's it going? It's going great, man. So yeah, no questions, and I'm actually not going to accept any more questions from now on, right? So if you were thinking about asking questions and you waited until now, well, next time ask the questions earlier on and you get them answered. I'm just going to do my last set in about, what's that, 10 seconds, 9, 8. So actually 10 repetition felt pretty good, so I think I should try and do at least 11, even 12. I think 12 should be the right thing to do. Alright, that 11 was literally definitely the right thing to do. We're also finishing the time, 30 seconds. So if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. If you're on Instagram, like, subscribe, like, follow, comment. Ciao.